friends, and welcome back to Sunshine Strategies Radio, where we help families and communities stay informed, engaged, and empowered. This season, we are trying something a little bit differently, and we are going to bring you some special interview series focused on the candidates running in this year's primary. And since this is all time dependent and whether or not we can get candidates in and out, we're going to start in Illinois' 15th Congressional District. Now, elections shape the future of our schools, our economy, our healthcare, farms, and neighborhoods. And informed voters build stronger communities. Our goal today is simple: to create space for thoughtful, respectful conversations so that you can hear directly from the people asking for your vote. Each candidate was brought onto the episode and asked a few questions like, why did you decide to jump in the race? And we talk a little bit about how they plan to serve the people of Central and Southern Illinois. Here at Sunshine Strategies, we believe in democracy and that it works best when citizens have access to clear information and diverse perspectives. So, whether you're a lifelong voter or preparing to cast your ballot for the very first time, this series was designed to help you better understand the choices before you in the Illinois Congressional District 15. And now let's get to our next candidate. There we go. And here we are with our first interview in the Illinois 15th Congressional District. We've got Paul Davis. I met Paul, I can't even remember where we first met, but it's been about a year ago now. We ran into each other at a community event, and I've been following your campaign ever since. So, welcome to Sunshine Strategies Radio. And tell us a little bit about yourself and your campaign, Paul.
I am a veterinarian. I'm not a politician. The highest elected office I've ever held is the vice president of my bass club, and full disclosure, that was unopposed. I've recently had to give that up because I am running for Congress in the 15th, and I'm primarily running, or largely running. Initially, what got me into this race is I'm very concerned about the divisions that exist in our nation, in our district. I just feel like our politics have become much too extreme, too divisive, and too disconnected from those of us that it's supposed to serve.
No, I
Um,
completely agree. So, and I think that that's probably where we first met is you and I were kind of the odd ducks in the room, and we gravitate towards each other. Somehow, as Democratic candidates, we always see each other in those spaces. And I think that's what caught my eye is that every time that I've been around you in these events, your demeanor is so spot on for the type of people that actually live here in the Illinois 15 that you strike me as just one of us when you go into these places, and it helps kind of turn down the volume.
yeah, it's exactly where I think we need to be anyway. And this is home. I mean, I've lived in Madison County for 33 plus years. If you count the time away in Champaign County at the University of Illinois, it's 45 years. So,
I have really been thinking about that. I grew up in Jersey and Macoupin County, and then I have lived in Macon County for almost 20 years now. I still kind of consider that whole area still home.
yeah, it's home if you're in the 15th district.
It is. And it's kind of weird. Like, we all argue about those political boundaries, but it really does follow the river paths in Sangamon Valley. It's very funny to me that it's still like, as much as we complain, there's a rhyme and a reason in the 15th. We're all kind of similar.
Right, right.
So, well, great. So, Paul, what's been your favorite thing as a candidate so far? When I ran for state rep in 2018, there were things that I loved and things that I hated, and I'm curious to see what you have loved so far.
Probably the thing, and Karen and I talk about it all the time, just the opportunity to meet so many passionate, interesting, smart people across the district that we would have never met. We would have likely never crossed paths. So that's been very rewarding, and I've made friends that I will consider lifelong friends through this process. So it's only made my life richer. And I'll be grateful for it regardless of the result of the election.
Well, that's awesome. I'm right there with you that I ran in a race I knew I was going to lose, which is, only so much fun. But what it turned out being was a really transformative experience. So I give my hats off to all of the candidates in the primaries that, it's a loaded primary this time around. But I'm so glad to see people that are making those connections and inspiring everybody to get out and run for precinct committeeman. It's not as scary as you really think it is.
No, well, and yeah, we do have some great candidates. I've developed close friendships with them as well. So, and I think the fact that it has been such a crowded field will make us ultimately all better general election candidates because we've had to work at it.
Yep. Well, awesome. Paul, what is the issue that really, lights a fire under you in this race?
Initially, it was just the growing anti science culture, public health being made a partisan issue, medical and scientific research being political footballs really, really bothered me. But as I've gotten involved in the race, one of the things that I've become very interested in and passionate in as I've learned about it, Medicare for all or a single payer healthcare system. I think that would be transformational in so many ways because everything does come down to affordability for people, and that is the single biggest expense most people face. So if we could come up with a way to control that and rein that in, I think that would be a quality of life improver for everybody.
I really would. I agree. As a mom of two kids, one in school, one in daycare, it seems like we're always sick. And I shouldn't be afraid to call the pediatrician because it's going to be, I'm going to have to take him in for an appointment and then I've got that cost. It shouldn't be that way. We should have those staples in our American economy. So,
I agree.
that is a hard one and one that makes a lot of sense for families in the 15th. So,
I think we're at a time where I think there's never been a bad time to do this, but I think we're at an especially good time to try to make some significant changes in our healthcare system and at least the way it's paid for. I think that's a nonpartisan issue that most of us can get behind.
no, I agree. Um, when even my husband who deals with numbers and all of that every day starts yelling to me about how stupid healthcare is, you even got him riled up. Something is terribly, terribly wrong. So, well, Paul, what else would you like to have on the podcast and tell people about your race as we kind of wrap up and let you get back out on the trail?
Probably the biggest thing is I want to be the same type of representative as I am a candidate. I want to be accessible. I will commit to representing everyone in this district, whether you vote for me or not, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. My job will be to represent folks in this district and not a president, not special interest or corporation. So my goal and my promise is that I will do all that I can to continue to be accessible and accountable to the folks in this district.
Oh, awesome. Well, Paul, it has been a pleasure. What events do you have coming up that people can visit you at?
We are going to be tonight in Jersey County.
I used to live there.
Okay. And and then we are going to be virtually appearing at a forum in Jacksonville on Tuesday night next week on the 10th. And then the following week we have forums in Quincy, Montgomery County. It's just a long
Awesome.
calendar. You can certainly follow all these events on our website at pauldavisforcongress.com. I'm trying to get better at that.
Good plug there, Paul.
But I appreciate questions online. We have a phone number there where you can reach out specifically to us. If I don't
I was
answer
going
it,
to
I'll leave a
say,
message.
you put out a phone number that somebody can
Yep.
call you directly.
Yep.
When I was an executive director, when I was a candidate, even now, I'm real hesitant to do that. I'll do it to certain people. So I commend you on that. That accessibility and authenticity is rare. So,
Right. May not always agree with me, but I'll always talk to you and do my best to answer your questions honestly.
No, and we all appreciate that. So, well, Paul, best of luck, and I cannot wait until it's March 15th is the final day for voting. Voting has started
Or
now.
March 17th,
17th. Ooh,
St.
we
Patrick's
got two
Day.
extra days.
Yep.
March 17th, make sure you get either an early ballot, go in early, or vote on the day of. But make your voice heard. And thank you so much, Paul, for joining us on Sunshine Strategies Radio.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.